Good morning. Hi, everybody. My name's Gail Hoban. I'm the Assistant Vice Chancellor, Community Relations, and I'd like to welcome folks to the 24th Annual Community Breakfast. It's great to see Bob Quinn and special guests this year, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the previous Quinn Award recipients. If you could please stand, and we'll give you a round of applause. Previous recipients, thank you. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the wonderful staff in the Office of Community Relations. I know most folks are very familiar with the staff, but I want to introduce Phil Carver. Phil. Alkia Powell. Alkia. And Mona Connolly-Casper. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you someone who has been committed to community engagement from the very beginning. Your host this morning, Chancellor Keith Motley.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you this morning? I am so honored to be in your presence. It is so great to stand up here at this microphone and podium and look out and see all these faces. If you could see what I see from here, you would feel as full as I do with happiness about your presence, but also about the future of this city, this Commonwealth, and this globe. You know, this is such a wonderful event for us as a university, but you're the reason why it's so special. You're the reason why it's wonderful to get up every morning and be a part of this University of Massachusetts Boston community, but most importantly, why it's so great to be part of the fabric of Boston, the movement that's going on here to let the world know that this is an innovation center, this is a place that's going to make a difference, and it's a place where we together are going to have an impact that's going to affect our children's 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 children, and so on and so forth. So I'm excited to see you. Now, let me clarify something. Everyone's been asking me why I brought my own coffee. Okay? Chancellor, you're walking up in here with all this stuff, you brought your own coffee. First of all, it's tea. I don't drink coffee. But I do this because there's a woman named Maria who's over in the cafeteria who I generally stop in to see and get tea from because she makes my day. I know I can go upstairs, tea would be free, but I pay my $1 whatever so Maria can help me feel good. I go this morning, Maria's not there. So I had no exit strategy because I didn't want to insult the person that was there, so I bought my tea anyway. So that's the origin of this tea. It's not because, and it's the same folks serving the tea here that serve the tea over there. So we are also serving you breakfast this morning. I read yesterday in the newspaper that the economy is shifting a little bit in Massachusetts, so it must be shifting on campus because I saw eggs and sausage, and I thought I was coming to continental breakfast with some fruit and all that, so I'm so grateful that, you know, we've had that. So thank you. Thanks to Gail for always being a perfect person to get out here in this community and do some work. Her and her team, each year as we celebrate this, it gives me joy that I don't have to make the decisions about who's going to win these awards. They stand in the way to make sure that they can bring to me unbelievable candidates. It is always so tough. And then we have two wonderful people I'm going to introduce you to very soon. But before that, you always know I have a little bit of something to say before we get into this program. First of all, it's held in honor of Robert Quinn, a great champion of the community, a great champion of this university. Someone, the Honorable Robert Quinn, and so he's someone that I'm so pleased joins us every year. Bob, stand so we can say hello to you. Hey, now, you know, I work in the Quinn building, so every day I'm reminded of this guy's impact. And now, I understand you've been inducted into the Dorchester Hall of Fame. I can believe it, but just when I was trying to be honorary OFD, and now I got to try to get into the honorary Hall of Fame now, as I try to track you going through this. But more importantly, we're so glad that your beautiful wife is here again. Claudine, thank you for coming. Always grateful to see you. You're such an inspiration, both of you, to us as a community and to me personally. And you all know you've been there from the very beginning of my journey here, and I'm so grateful to you. But I also have some other friends in the audience I'd like to say are here. My main man over here, Representative Marty Walsh, as I call him, he's in the house. I understand Bill Linehan was here, has been here since about 7:30 this morning. You know, hey, listen, I love that kind of energy. Love that kind of energy. Thank you for being here, City Councilor. You know what you mean to us. And listen, I'm standing beside a man who I can look in the eye. Our Commissioner, Ed Davis, is here. Let's give him a round of applause. And let me tell you a secret. This guy, and also this guy I'm going to introduce next, Superintendent Daniel Linsky. A lot of people on campus do not even know this. We have been engaged in a writing project for the last probably 5 years, and it preceded the commissioner coming and all that, but he came and got right on board. And what we've been doing with the middle schools is bringing in thousands of essays about what goes down in the neighborhood and then how to do something about it. Those students end up going to Washington, D.C. for a week in the summer after they win, and it's a writing project. It's nothing fancy, it's writing. And I'm going to tell you, Superintendent Daniel Linsky is responsible, along with Stephen Neville in my office, for thousands of essays that judges in the court system look at and pick winners. And now their work is in the Library of Congress in D.C., and we've been doing this quietly. It's called Do the Right, W-R-I-T-E thing. And so when I see my partners, Boston Police, and I look over here, see my fellows over here, and I see the commissioner, it makes a difference. Thank you so much for all that work. I really do appreciate it. So now what we're here for, I want to thank everybody for your nominations. They've been screened by the accounting firm of because deciding on the winners is never easy. That committee, as I mentioned, has to work very hard at making this happen. And we're so excited about this. This breakfast provides us an opportunity to celebrate all of what we've been doing in this university and what you've helped us do as a community. We understand we can't be without you. And so that connection is so important to us. Each and every one of you plays a role in or will play a role in our future. We've been hosting neighborhood dinners. Someone said, what are you doing, running for office or something? I said, no, we're bringing together civic leaders, businesses and nonprofit leaders, law enforcement people, Main Streets directors, and elected officials, and they show up. City councilors and state reps all together in a room just to talk about what we should be doing next. We met with folks from Dorchester, South Boston, Mattapan, Hyde Park, and next we're meeting with Chinatown, Roxbury, West Roxbury, Rosendale, Brighton, you name it. We are the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and we understand that. With a capital B and, you know, all the letters that go into making Boston and all the vibrancy that goes into making this a special place. So our position as the only public university in this city, the only public research university in this city, is one where our public mission connects us to you, and in turn, connects you to us. And so we understand that, we're reaching out to you, and we want to give the opportunity for your voice. We have so much to plan for our future here. We are in the midst, including revitalizing the Bayside area down the street. If we're fortunate enough that things go through on that, that whole place is vacant and gray right now. We want to make it so that in the long term, this campus, this community. We can think about what the future is, and we can work together because the sky is the limit. So I walk in today because, you know, the word's out on the Bayside, and I run into Father George. And he says to me, so what's up? You coming for the church next? I'm like, Father George, I wouldn't do that. No, Father George, we weren't even in the business of looking for the Bayside. We just happened to be positioned for it. And so with this community's help, this can become the destination point when someone comes to this city, to come out on this peninsula, be out here in such a vibrant place where educational interests, commercial interests, community interests are all combined to make an unbelievable difference for us. And we have the opportunity to do what no other university has done in this city and beyond. This country hasn't had a process where it starts with no one having some kind of intentions. We have a master plan that says that our lopsided campus, you haven't noticed that, have you? Everything's on one side. We have a lot of space to build down here. So there's a lot of thinking that has to go into what's next. So we'll be talking to you in the future about that. So we'll work with you, and I hope you understand that we need your support, we need your help, we need your vision. The potential for integrating the campus with the community, breaking down some of the fortresses that exist, the roads, and also because our roads, we can't even get over here. Sometimes, you know, I've been fortunate enough to benefit from Mr. Corcoran building buildings next to me because from the highway, it looked like I was building. So when we announced the master plan, my colleagues from other campuses, as they ride by on the expressway, were writing me, man, you got the cranes up already? You announced yet? And I don't say anything. I act like, yeah, we got the cranes up. Hey, Marty, I took credit for you all, you know, the sewer you put out there in front of the school. Yeah, well, I took credit for that. We were building. Okay? That's what we do. So we're excited to be moving forward, and we're committed to strengthening our connections with our neighbors and the community. We want to do it. We need you. Before we get started, also let me recognize Gail and them again, right? Gail Hoban has developed an amazing team. She's one of the few people that could have convinced me that she needed some help. Because, you know, I see her, I sort of track her to these meetings. I show up, she's there. I show up somewhere else, I don't even tell her, she's there. And so I said, well, you know what? You can't do this and survive and be healthy for a long time. And so most of you are aware that she's done so much. But I want to give an opportunity, you know, to introduce some of the team that works with her. She's worked so hard that we finally given her some help. And so there was a young man who I met out in the neighborhood as I went up, and he used to try to convince me there was only one civic group that mattered in Boston, Pope's Hill or something like that. There's a guy named Phil Carver, and Phil Carver is here with us now. He's been working with businesses, acting as a liaison. So listen about these people. Where's Phil at? Phil's over there, but let me tell you what he does. We have him working with Main Streets and boards of trade and economic groups around economic development agencies to provide the university support for their activities. So you hear that, that's the guy to check out. He hosts monthly community dinner conversations. He's hosting Main Street people, workshops here on campus. He's facilitating partnerships in Brook Farm Business Service and Academy in West Roxbury. He's participating in ongoing work on boards in Dorchester Board of Trade, Bowdoin, Geneva Main Streets Promotion Project, Board of ABCD, Dorchester Neighborhood Services, partnering with the Southwest Corridor. I was walking in Brockton, and here he is. Trinity Church, Trinity School down there, and also speaking at the Chamber of Commerce. He had me down there doing that. So the man is all around. Let's give him a round of applause. Alkia Powell, where's she at? Running around somewhere. Alkia has been actively expanding our outreach efforts into Mattapan neighborhood and more. And it's a coordinated effort. They work together. She's done a lot to help Area B3 Police Department. You know, she's out there working with the police. And I'm happy about that. working with the neighborhood kids, making sure that they get on campus, using our facilities. Edgarville Railroad field trip, we took them on. She also has been working with C11 officers as they wrapped holiday gifts for children, etc. Currently, she's working with B3 to coordinate a joint cans and bottle recycling program. Now, I saw something on the news yesterday that talked about how many bottles that we drink of water and how much recycling had to be done because of all the plastic that was related to that. And so it's so important to think about our next generation, and Alkia is on that. We're so grateful to her for all that she does. But the person that is sort of the glue of all that holds us all together is Mona Connolly-Casper. She's behind the scenes, working hard. She's out there at that desk. She's over here in the back now. She's making sure that every detail is coordinated for us, as the administrative details should be. And we're so glad that she's a friendly, competent, hardworking person who we're so grateful to. So when you call us, the person on the end of that phone is Mona. And then she tells us what to do, and we go on from there. And so we understand our role. Person that this team couldn't run without someone who we call the everyman. Everywhere you look. In fact, we were at the State House last week, Marty, and they asked me, did Ciccarelli work down there? They said, where's his office? John Ciccarelli, who is working, making sure that he's leading our government relations and public affairs in the governor's office, and they're like, he's here so much, where's his office down here, Chancellor? I said, well, he works for me. They're like, what? Because the guy is always in the State House or somewhere doing his job. Also here this morning, many of you know Charlie Titus. See, I'm showing off this morning. I'm letting you know this community thing is not just some chancellor's speech in your neighborhood or something like this, okay? You'll see these people. You've seen them out. The police can attest to it. You can attest to it. Charlie Titus, our Vice Chancellor for Athletics, that's a short title. But listen, all of the community things that they do as athletes, because we have student athletes here, committed to the value of education, but also committed to getting out into our community. And so Charlie Titus is here along with the person who does our special projects for athletics, Jane Rudovich Higgins. Why don't you all stand up? Where's Charlie? And I know I saw Jane this morning because I was teasing her about her beautiful hair as she's growing it out. So they do so much good work in our community. Charlie and Jane are always finding good news things for our students to be involved with. Finally, Sherrod Williams, who's here from Student Affairs. Yeah, I'm wearing you out with this, but I want you to see. Sherrod Williams, stand up. Even in Student Affairs, we have our students out. He works with Charlie, Jane, and everybody else to create service opportunities for our students, because this doesn't happen happenstance. We get out and we try to make this happen. And so thank you so much. These students spend their spring break doing fascinating things here in this community and all over the world. Our commitment to community is what we're all about. And this event is really the high point of that notion and that value for us. And this is why we go. So we want this university to continue on that track. We want you to be a part of that. And by hosting this breakfast each year, we're able to celebrate this mission and honor individuals, past and present, who have been a part of this. And so now, what you came for, the presentation of the Chancellors Awards for community commitment and service. The Chancellor's Award for Longstanding Community Commitment and Service recognizes individuals representing corporate community partners who have distinguished themselves in service to the community. This year's recipient comes to us with so many credentials. If I started reading them from her vita, it would be frightening to all of us, because where would she get the time to do all this? But here's some. She's Senior Vice President for Patient Care and Chief Nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital. She is an instructor at Harvard Medical School. I'm tired already. She's Assistant Professor at the Massachusetts General Hospital Institute of Health Professions. She's a visiting scholar at Boston College. And she's a senior associate at the Institute for Nursing Healthcare Leadership. She has unbelievable credentials. That one that earned her this award, though, is the one that I'm excited about. It's her willingness to devote her time and her talents working on behalf of those world-renowned institutions she represents to help our local community and our global community. She hasn't forgotten. She hasn't got up there, wherever there is, because we sort of try to stay humble around here. So wherever there is that they talk about, she hasn't gone there. She's made sure that she understands how to connect all those resources to this community. She's the recipient of the American Organization of Nurses Executive PRISM Award for the Creating a Culturally Sensitive Healthcare Environment. Under her leadership, the Clinical Leadership Collaborative for Diversity in Nursing was formed between Partners Healthcare System and the University of Massachusetts Boston School of Nursing and Health Sciences. To date, 37 racially and ethnically diverse undergraduate nursing students have participated in this scholarship and leadership development initiative. She developed new measures to evaluate innovations that influence professional nursing practice. These measures are being used by more than 25 healthcare institutions in 6 countries and has been translated into Spanish and into Chinese. She has held several humanitarian relief efforts, and she has helped and led several humanitarian relief efforts. In concert with Project Hope in Indonesia, in Haiti, mentoring the chief nurse of the Basra Children's Hospital in Iraq, and in modernizing her nursing practices, she's been all over the world doing that. She's the first nurse to serve as a member of the Harvard Humanitarian Initiative Executive Committee at Harvard University. I would have had you on there long before that, okay? But I'm impressed. You're the first one, okay? Now we'll just make sure there's a second, right? And is the chairperson of the MGH Center for Global Health Executive Committee, which provides oversight for its newly launched Center for Global Health. For her so many positive contributions to the community, it is my pleasure to present the Chancellor's Award for Longstanding Community Commitment and Service to Jeanette Ives Erickson. Janet Ives Erickson. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as we stroll back over here to Harry, and as I present this to you, listen, thank you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna invite you right up to the mic. I'll give it up. It may not seem like I wanted to give it, I'm giving it.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Chancellor, and thank you to everyone in this audience. This is an award that I am accepting on behalf of the thousands of nurses that I have the pleasure of representing at the Massachusetts General Hospital, but also for the wonderful faculty in the School of Nursing. 6 years ago, an incredible partnership was formed when Greer Glazer became the dean here. I don't know if everyone at the university knows how fortunate we are to have Greer as the leader of the School of Nursing. Our values are very much aligned. We are truly committed to advancing the diversity of the nursing workforce. And why do we want to do that? We want to address disparities in healthcare. We want to make certain that every American has equal access to healthcare. And that will only happen when the nursing workforce is totally diverse. So I want to thank the people at the middle table there for leading the diversity initiatives in our hospital. These young men and women are this year's recipients of our Diversity Scholarship Program. They are, in fact, the future of healthcare. It is our responsibility to protect them as they are going through their clinical practicums as well as their educational work in this wonderful university. They will be the people that will be taking care of all of us in the future, and so it is up to us to help to advance them. We are very, very proud of all of you. Congratulations and thank you.
Now, there's a young man in here. If he comes up to you telling you basketball stories, don't believe any of them. Sitting at a table right over here, Jim Brett, New England Council, just want to thank you for coming out this morning as well. Give him a round of applause. I also want to say to City Councilor John Tobin, you can't hide from me. You're in this room. Where are you? Okay. Good morning, man. All right, thanks for being here. Really appreciate that. And now we turn to the award for which this breakfast is known, the Robert H. Quinn Award for Outstanding Community Leadership. As you all know, Bob Quinn has served this Commonwealth and served this Commonwealth well. He served in so many ways. Served as Speaker of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, as Massachusetts Attorney General, and Chair of the UMass Board of Trustees. He continues to inspire us today. His presence is always inspirational to us. His business and political acumen is something that I cherish and treasure in the opportunities that we have a chance to exchange. And this award is given only to those individuals who uphold the values embodied by Robert H. Quinn. I ask that Mr. Quinn please join me at the podium now for the presentation of his award as we bestow this honor. Now, he always tells me stories about when some of these folks were youngsters and how he used to run into them in the neighborhoods and how he could buy a vote for a piece of candy. Give them a piece of candy and get in to see their mom or dad and those kinds of things. And the other thing is, whenever I offer him a chair, he never wants to sit when he comes up here. Can I offer you a chair now? That's what I'm saying. So but now my elders in the room know I did the right thing, okay? All right. Now, this award recipient is someone we're very proud of. After graduating from South Boston High School in 1967, he and 5 of his neighborhood friends joined the United States Marine Corps. They went to Vietnam. 3 of them did not return home. Our recipient did. But when he returned as a decorated combat veteran, but with a new inspiration in his heart to make a difference. He returned as a soldier with a new mission, to serve our nation's veterans and to honor the memory of those friends from Southie who did not come home with him. In 1978, he organized a committee of Vietnam veterans to pay tribute to the 25 sons of South Boston who died during the Vietnam War. The South Boston Vietnam Memorial, dedicated September 13, 1981, was one of the first of its kind in this nation. Linda Dorsina Forey, I saw she came in. Where's she at? Okay, welcome. He also founded the Semper Fidelis Society of Boston, a Marine Corps organization that has grown from 28 members to over 2,300 members. The society sponsors a luncheon on the Marine Corps' birthday, and funds raised are donated to the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation. He served as Deputy Commissioner for Veteran Services in the city of Boston from 1984 through 1995, and from 1995 through 2002, he served as Executive Director at the New England Shelter for Homeless Veterans. A Boston State College graduate which makes him a University of Massachusetts Boston alumni. He also completed, that's right, clap your hands. That's just a commercial for those of you who haven't turned yourself in yet to us. You're acting like you don't know that this is your home. We will find you. We will hug you. We will pin you. Then we will work you and work you and work you. We promise that. As Director for Community Services Department at the MassHousing Agency, a member of the Governor's Veterans Advisory Council and Chairman of the Subcommittee on Veterans Housing, he continues to advocate for veterans and serve his community with honor. Mr. Quinn, come forward. Do you have any remarks you'd like to make? Come on.
Thank you very much, worthy Chancellor. You know, this fellow beside me has been doing a great job, such a great job that one of his vice chancellors, Charlie Desmond, sneaked back in here, the president of San Francisco State University, to see what he was doing right that he could copy. That, of course, is Chancellor Motley's predecessor, several times removed, Bob Corrigan, who was chancellor of this university when I had the honor to be on the board of trustees. So Motley is a teacher himself by all of his conduct. But we're here to honor two wonderful people. I had the pleasure of chatting with Ms. Erickson earlier about the wonderful work she does, and I'm thrilled that she has been recognized by this university today. And do I know Tommy Lyons? Sure, I know him. I've seen him, and I've seen his name here, there, and everywhere. All I can say is Walsh and Tobin and Linehan, you'd better worry, because if he ever puts his name on the ballot, you're all in trouble. He has done such wonderful work. God bless him for the dedication he has shown, and he has been a typical Marine. From all the Marines that I have known, all the Marines who have taught me to work hard, who have set examples for me and have showed me how to find my way to the bar, and all of those other important things that are a part of life. So congratulations, Tom, and Jeanette, God bless you all. Thank you.
Father George, this guy's always getting a little political thing going in these events, huh? He's always got something, get the fire going, the competition going, and so we are pleased to present the 2010 Robert H. Quinn Award for Outstanding Community Leadership. Tommy Lyons, come on up, Tommy. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Congratulations. You can get in the middle of Mr. Quinn and us. Okay.
Thank you, Chancellor Motley, Mr. Quinn, Gail Hoban, and the staff. I'm truly honored to be here and accepting this award this morning. There are two women in this room that I would like you to acknowledge. And in probably a month and a half, we're going to be having Mother's Day. We're honored to have with us two Gold Star mothers who have lost sons, one in Vietnam and one in Beirut. So please give a round of applause for Nikki Likely and Christine Devlin, who join us today. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge some folks that I need to thank for being here today. Certainly, off to my right, my family, my brothers and sisters, and my sister-in-law who are here with me this morning. friends. I was telling someone earlier, for those of you old enough, remember the show, This Is Your Life. Well, I'm going through that right now because not only do I have family here, I have childhood friends that I've known for 55 years. I see guys that I worked with at the Boston Edison 40 years ago, and I'm saying, what's going on, you know? So I'm humbled, but to my friends, my co-workers who I'm honored and proud to be with every single day. But most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Jean, who is here that puts up with so much. I accept this award with the humility of one who never saw himself as a leader. The journey that has led me here was based on a simple gesture of remembrance. We were bound and determined never to forget the friends we lost in Vietnam. I say we because the idea I had could never have materialized the way it did if it had not been for the support, encouragement, and commitment of Tommy Irwin, Harry Carroll, George Egan, Jerry Turner, men that served in Vietnam and made up the South Boston Vietnam Memorial Committee. But most importantly, the great commitment that we got from the South Boston community. Today, the concept of remembering fallen brothers and friends is self-evident. But 30 years ago, when the wound of Vietnam was still raw, creating a memorial to 25 sons, brothers, and friends who lost their lives in Vietnam was so unique, some folks deemed it radical. I came to understand that if we wanted to honor and remember the friends we grew up with, played ball with, hung on the corner with, and marched off the war with, we had to do it ourselves. We could not ask or rely on our father's generation, great as they were, because Vietnam was about sacrifice, faith, and courage. So on that beautiful Sunday morning in September 13th, 1981, more than 300 friends who proudly and honorably served in Vietnam marched up East Broadway in suits and ties. Our only military service distinction was wearing a red carnation we pinned on our lapels. There in an island of green, now known as Medal of Honor Park, we dedicated a simple granite stone inscribed with the names of 25 friends, heroes, and above those words, if you forget my death, then I died in vain. What we did on that Sunday, as the nation looked on, was to come home to an embrace of our neighborhood while remembering those who were not as fortunate. We accomplished so much more than we ever dreamed of that day. When a television reporter asked about the significance of the moment, I remember telling him that I hoped other communities all across the country would repeat our gesture of love. Almost 2 years later, the Vietnam Memorial, the wall, was dedicated in Washington, D.C. Simple ideas do have the power to change lives. I speak from personal experience. When we walked up that hill almost 30 years ago, I was an underground worker for the Boston Edison Company, who had absolutely no way of knowing how my life would change. Today, as the manager at the Community Services Department at MassHousing, what I do in many ways is a seamless extension of what I did on that Sunday so long ago. Simply put, I work to help people, some veterans, get housing. To put it in the context of mass housing being the state's affordable housing, we at Community Services provide resources and programs to help people living in our developments who need the kind of programs and services to increase their quality of life, but keep them in their housing, in their community. The very basic idea, conceived with the help of close friends, has guided my journey from Deputy Commissioner of Veteran Services in the City of Boston to the Director of New England Shelter for Homeless Veterans, and now at MassHousing. It has brought me into the company of diverse and amazing array of friends from the world of business, politics, sports, and the military. People who have always been willing to help. And it has reinforced in me another very basic idea, namely that I can make a difference. I would hesitate to call that leadership. I much prefer to think of it in those two words we use at the corner of O and 2nd as stepping up. All I've tried to do is step up where I can in hope that it might make a difference. And thus far, I have not been disappointed. So I will continue to step up whenever and wherever I can, not because I think it demonstrates what might be called qualities of leadership, but simply because it's the right thing to do. I am honored and proud to have my name associated with Bob Quinn, and I thank each and every one of you for being here today with me. Thank you.
I too want to welcome the Gold Star mothers that are here. Know that you're always welcome. It's good to see you at every one of our events that you're at here on campus. You're always here supporting us, and thank you so much. Your presence matters, and we're so grateful for that. I also want to thank all of you for being here this morning. As I mentioned early, we need you to work as we build this campus and as we build for this city another destination point, one that everyone who comes into the city can come to for their educational aspirations, to come out on the peninsula where you can have the kind of fun activities, but also the activities that connect the community to the peninsula in a way that makes a difference. The blueprint is here, the work is ready to be done, we need your help. So it's never easy to find candidates for these awards. So many people are quality people. We had two wonderful people winning the awards today. I'm to tell you that I kept your awards up here to keep you so that we could take a picture together at the end. And I encourage all of you to stay in touch. Watch our website, watch the Dorchester News or Dorchester News, watch South Boston Online, whatever that entity is for what's next. We use our imagination and then try to bring that to reality. So we just can't stand here and tell you what's next. Next could be something that you never would think little old University of Massachusetts, Boston could or should or would be doing. But we do it because this community deserves no less. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today. So grateful for all of your presence. I invite you to return to our campus soon. Know that this is your public university. We welcome your presence. This is your University of Massachusetts, Boston. Thanks for coming. So we're going to ask